Hi all, this is Lynn with Paper Life, and I'm going to try to mostly finish up the cover for the Traveler's Journal I've been working on. I was trying to decide how I wanted to do this cover, and I went and used the free printable that we have on Paper Life. It has a few floral arrangements that I had put out a while ago. So if you remember Paper Lifers, this is where I got this from. And I have some of the white cotton that I've been using. And my brain's more scattered than normal, so bear with me please. I have some sari silk here, and I think this is what I want to use for the closure. A lot of times with, at least what I think of as a traditional travels journal, like a Midori, they use like elastic to go around, and it's very effective for closing it. You can open and close it really quick, but of course I don't want to do that. I want to do something different. I don't know. So I'm just going to use some Fabri-Tac to hold it down. And I'm trying to kind of flatten it out a little so that it's not too bulky on my cover. And let me put some more on there. This foam kind of likes to absorb glue. I should probably get my glue stick out because it doesn't absorb that as much. So I am going to sew around all of this, so that will help secure this in. Alright, I'm going to end up gluing my hand together here in a moment. Going back to my glue stick. Because I don't want to fuss with it that much. You could probably also get away with something like seam binding, the double-sided tape. There we go. I'm going to set this to the side for just a moment. Everything's attacking me today. I have some of this white lace, and oh, here's my other piece. It was actually one solid piece, but I just cut down the middle of it because I think I want to run this down the edge of the cover. But I'm not loving that real white color, so I'm just going to take a vintage photo, and hopefully without putting too much on there, just kind of go over it. For some reason I had the hardest time trying to figure out how I wanted to decorate this, and I still don't know if I'm really in love with what I came up with. But I think with my lack of lace in this journal, I was trying to make up for it on the cover. So I'm going to try to minimize that a little bit and not go as crazy as what I was originally thinking. So this is going to go just basically down the inside part of this cover a little bit. And I want to just barely catch on the edge of the foam. And that's just because of how wide this lace is. It's not super wide. I'm just hoping it kind of tacks there. Maybe. Maybe. I think it's sticking more to my fingers than it is on here. Okay, I'm going to say that's good enough for right now. At this point, I think I am done sticking anything inside of this cover, inside the two pieces, so I'm just going to glue stick down this side. Maybe that will help hold the lace in place for me. Maybe. Now, since I'm going to sew around the cover, I'm just going to glue stick it down. If you were not planning on doing that, what I would do is potentially take like the Fabri-Tac and run a bead around the edge to kind of help secure that in. Because obviously glue stick is not very permanent. Okay. So we got that there. It would probably be helpful if I stayed in view. For the inside of this, I am all over the place. I think on the inside, I don't believe I'm going to put anything else like in here, so I'm going to go ahead and glue stick this side down. And I believe what I came up with for in the inside of here is I have a piece of this lace, and I'll put it over here so you can see, and it's just white. It didn't have a whole lot of interest on here, but what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is again grab some of my ink. That'd be good timing anyways. I'll let that dry. I did a little test area. I'm going to use this kind of pinkish color that I had. And all I'm trying to do is just kind of put a little bit on here. The Velcro on here is sticking to my lace. That is not going to be helpful. Maybe that's a little better. Or not. Alright, we're going to go with the pap. I don't know how much of this I actually need to be doing this to. Now when I glue this down and sew around it, I'm going to make it where it can be used as a pocket. You don't have to. I'm just, like I said, it's, in my opinion, better to have too many pockets and not put anything in them than not have enough. I mean, pockets are a good thing, right? Alright, so let's see. Yeah, see, it just adds a little bit of a pink tint to it, and it makes it show up on here just a little bit better. Okay, I need some more. I didn't go long enough. Okay. Doo-doo-doo-doo. If you wanted this to be a darker color than staining it or using like fabric dye would work well, I would imagine. But I was trying to work with basically what I had here. And I'm going to let this dry just a little bit before I start gluing it down into place. And that's just because this ink takes a little bit longer to dry. So while that's doing its thing, I guess I will come in here and glue this side down. Like so. Let's see. I'll grab my insert so I can kind of figure out how long I should cut this to. I'll say right about there. Okay. Then I'm going to take these back out of there. Since I can't ever put my closure in the center of the book, I just kind of fold it over so I can make sure that they're as close to being lined up between the two as I can get it. Let me try the Fabri-Tac again. I don't know why I just tried it again, because I don't think it's going to hold. I don't know why it would hold on one side but not the other. That doesn't make any sense, does it? But no, I'm stubborn and I want to try it again, so hey, guess what? It didn't want to hold on this side either. I mean, maybe if I just kept my finger here forever, it would hold, but it's not going to right now. So. Maybe, are you going to stay there for me? Oh, it stayed there for me a little bit. Yay! Yay! I'm just going to cut my 2 strings so that they're about equal. Okay, so there's my closure. And let's see, we'll take this doodad and we'll put him over on this side. And I said I was going to put him on this side and I haven't done it yet. You know, I'm sure this glue would hold so much better if I actually got it down to the area in which I needed to glue it to. Lay flatter for me, thank you. Maybe if I use something other than my fingers that were just going to stick to the glue, it would work better for me. You guys ever feel like watching my videos is like watching paint dry? Or maybe it's watching glue dry. So as you can tell, this is just kind of fussing with it at this point, trying to get it to stay where I want it to stay. Or trying to come up with a compromise where I just end up being happy with it staying wherever it wants to stay. Okay, maybe if I can delicately cut this without moving it. Please don't move. Okay, there we go. I know, now I gotta do that. Nope, of course it moved. Alright. Well, hold on. I'm gonna get my glue stick going and then I'll worry about that some more. My biggest problem here is I'm trying to get my lace to only hold on here by a little spot, because when I sew around it, I'm going to try to sew up like one hole on going into the foam and like one hole going into the fabric, so it will actually have more hold once I sew it, if that makes sense. If it makes sense, by all means let me know, because I don't know if it even makes sense in my own head right now. So just kind of push that down into place. I'm scared to use my little braid tool. Okay, so those are now on there like that. Let's see. I think the next thing I decided to do was I have this, oh here, let me do the pocket in here first. Alright, so for this part I am going to use the Fabri-Tac, and it will actually hold, I hope. I hope. Maybe if I just say it very convincing, then it'll just feel like it has to listen and do it, right? know where I want this. I'm thinking I want some of this lace to hang down underneath. But if I do that, then I need to come in here and put a little ink around this side. Darn it. They didn't pre-think that through. But honestly, when do I ever pre-think through any of this? Okay. So let's see. Have a little bit of the lace sticking through the bottom. Do we like that? Nope, I don't think I do. After all that, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm going to do it where it's pretty much flush with my edge here. It may be up a little, it might be down a little, who knows, but pretty much close. Pretty much there. Alright, so give that a little bit of a glue. Obviously, I'm going to glue my hand to it as normal. So what I want to try to achieve is to bring this pocket over. I'm going to glue it completely down to the spine area. The reason for that is so that, you know, if you open up a book that has a pocket in there and you go all the way across the spine, a lot of times it wants to fold that pocket up, and I don't want it to fold that pocket up. So I'm going to glue here, glue here, glue. Okay, that was really excessive gluing. I went a little crazy. Maybe a little crazy there. Okay. Alrighty. The glue's attacking me. Now when I sew this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all the way around, and then I'm going to sew down each of my panels, if that makes sense. So I'm going to sew here. I'm going to sew one line going down right next to my little gap, and then I'm going to sew on my spine. So it'll be 4 stitches right in here. At least that's my goal. We'll see. Okay. Put a little going up this way. I guess I'll come in here and cut my lace off after I've glued it down, because that made a whole lot of sense. It would probably help if I could see where I was cutting. Or maybe I'm just going to cut crooked if I can see what I'm cutting or not. I don't guess it's going to matter. So I'm not worried about this being perfectly held down, because like I said, when I sew around it, it's gonna maybe help hide some of my beautiful work there. I'm trying to find a piece of lace that I want to use. I don't like that so much. Maybe something, anything wants to pop out. What I want to do is, no, I don't want pink. I say anything, but not that. Let's see. I want something that has a little bit of give to it. That doesn't really have any give to it, but I'll go with this. What I would like to do is make a like pen clip, so I can clip a pen into my planner, because you know we all need a pen to go in our planners, right? Maybe how about this? This was in my way, so maybe it wants to be my friend. Do you want to be my friend? Be my friend. Okay, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to cut off some of my lace. Now, if you wanted to, you could put this inside your cover. Like, okay, that's completely glued down, but you could put this inside of here so that your pen's there. I don't want it like that. Thank goodness, since I already glued it, huh? I'm going to kind of eyeball where I need this to be and put a little Fabri-Tac, even though it doesn't like me right now, on there to kind of pinch my lace together. Now, if you use something like elastic, it would give you a lot more give and give you more adjustment between, you know, different size pens you want to put in there. But I don't have a wide elastic right now, so we are not doing that. Okay. So here's my little pen loop. I guess I should make sure that my pen's actually going to fit in there, since this is all being crazy for me today. Put a spot of glue where I think I want this. Detach from my finger. Thank you. So the reason I put my pen loop in here instead of at the edge was that my pen can either sit here, or this will also let it come in more if I want it to. I don't know why it matters. I just wanted to do it that way. I guess to make it more difficult. Alright, let's move on to the outside, since I am just scatterbrained and all over the place. Move this paper back out of my way. I grabbed some of this lace, and what I was thinking I wanted to do was just add a little, I don't know, little character to the spine. Was run that up it like that. I don't know if that's a great idea or a horrible idea. Like, what in the world am I thinking? Alright, maybe I'm not going to. I was so convinced I wanted to do that until I said it out loud. Alright, I'm not going to add that there. Nope, I done changed my mind. So what I am going to add is my decorative part to the front. Okay, so here was the piece that I grabbed that was the free printable. And I've distressed around the edges some with Vintage Photo. I rounded the corners. Since I couldn't cut straight, my corners need a little fussing with. Now the one thing I haven't done is I want to go back over that with one of my colors, and I don't know what color I want to do yet. I'm thinking, how about we do some of this pink? Yeah, we'll do some pink on this one. And the pink's not going to show up super well over that Vintage Photo, but that's okay. I wanted it to be more the aged look, but I wanted to add a little bit of color just to soften it up, I guess, a little. Okay, so it has a little bit of that pink going around it. I have some of that white fabric, and what I want to do is I want to glue this white behind my picture. I should probably grab a scrap piece of paper that wasn't white so that you could see it better. Now I did the same thing with this white fabric that I've been doing. I basically did the torn edge around it. So I'm going to have to kind of fuss because it's not that much bigger than my picture. Especially since I didn't worry about ironing it after I put some coffee on it to kind of age it up a little. Like that. My plan is to kind of do a faux sew around here where I stitch around my cover with the around my picture with the fabric on there, but then I'm going to glue it down onto my cover. And the reason for that is I'm going to do what one of my friends does, and she actually makes this a little bit of a pocket, so it's kind of a hidden pocket on the cover, if that makes any sense. Now the next thing I still have not decided is in this kit there's little sayings like wildflowers don't care where they grow, one person's weed is another person's wildflower, be a wildflower, beautiful, fierce, and free, in a field of roses be a wildflower. So I don't know which one of these I want to do yet. So I'm going to lay this, I think I want it kind of on a little bit of an angle, and then one of these, but I don't know which one yet. I don't know. You guys yell. Tell me which one I want to do. I think I'm really liking that one. I don't know, because I like all the sayings that are on here. I'm almost, I guess, going more for the size than I am which one it is, because I want all of them. Alright, I'm going with that one. That's what I'm doing. What color do we want to do around the edges? Maybe let's do that pink again. I just feel like there's a lot of colors going on, so I don't want to introduce another one. Now with this kit, these words are slightly distressed around the edges already. And this one I just used my Crop-A-Dile and did a 1/4 inch rounded edge. Just to add something to it. Oh, and I guess I already distressed these edges too. I didn't realize that. Okay. So that's going to get glued down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all the way around this part. I'm going to sew all the way around this part, and then we'll come back and I'll glue them together, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. Guys, if I'm talking a weird made-up language, sorry. Welcome to allergy season and being on cold medicine. Yeah. Anything else I can complain about at the current moment? See, I don't know. I want to add something there. Okay, so let me take care of that and I'll be back. Hey y'all, this is Lynn, and I just got done with the sewing around the edges of this. I did go ahead and take my pen loopy thingy off, but that's because I'm going to secure it that way. I went ahead and changed up what saying I was going to put on the front here, because the original one I was going to do when I did my sewing around, the zigzag went into the writing and I didn't love that, so I just grabbed this one and did a straight stitch instead of the zigzag. Guess I should have thought about that and cut them a little bit bigger. So here is how I'm going to do this cover. I'm going to throw stuff all over the place. I'm going to glue down here, and I remembered how much of a pain it is to sew around rounded edges, and why I always say I'm never going to do it again. Until the next time. So I'm just going to kind of place that where I want it. Like so. I dropped my little saying on the ground. So that's going to go like that. I'm probably not in view anymore. So that's going to get pushed down there. Like so. And then inside, I'm going to take this little doodad and put it right about there. I'm afraid to touch this too much with my fingers since my fingers are a big massive mess. So yeah, that's just going to stay right there. There is at least the start of the journal. I'm going to come back in with my brad setter, or no, my eyelet setter, which is the Big Bite. I'm going to, let's see, I'll do this while we're on camera real quick. Alright, so let's see, we're about an inch wide of a spine. So I'm going to try to do the center of each eyelet about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. So that'll be like the center of my eyelet. And let's see, we want one right here and one right here, like so. Now I'm going to go in and punch them with the eyelet. That's what I'm going to use. However, you can also take your elastic, now this is kind of when it becomes a pain, is getting it through the eye of your needle, and then all you would do is the same thing, you would just stitch in your holes. So let me go ahead and grab my eyelets because I didn't grab those, and I'll try to punch them real quick. Okay, so I grabbed my eyelets. The other thing I did was I took a little bit of my Fabri-Tac and I put it on the stitches that I'm going to be cutting through. The reason for that is I found in the past that sometimes it wants to cut, you know, it'll cut my threads while I'm popping the holes, and then I don't care for it as much. So work with me here, work with me. I'm going to try to pop my hole straight. Maybe. Okay, I'll fix that here in just a moment. Sometimes I've found with this that it doesn't want to go through all the layers of fabric. Like this time. I guess that's the downside of making lots of fabric on here, but I like lots of fabric. Okay. Up here I apparently didn't have my threads glued down as well as I thought I did. I have a few that came loose up here, but that's okay because the type of eyelet I have has like a washer on the back, so that'll cover that up. Okay, that will cover that up because you're going to behave and stay down, aren't you? So let me put my washer doodad there. Hopefully I'm doing this in the right direction. I can't ever remember which one goes which way. Oh, my little thing came undone. I hate that. I wish that was the one thing I wish they would have done differently on this Crop-A-Dile, is to put the which way each thing has to sit, if that makes any sense, on the actual machine, but they didn't. Oh, my washer was upside down. Haha. Oh, well, I don't think there's anything I can do to fix that at this point. Besides, roll with it. Okay. Let's see if I can do this one without putting it in upside down. Okay. Let's see. No, that time my thing didn't even press on. Nope, that's upside down. Goodness. There we go. Now what I did with this was I popped my holes through the foam part, not through just where the fabric was overhanging. And this is why I put that little thin piece of cardboard down the spine, was sometimes I've found that if I don't, when I put the inserts in there, these will want to fold over the top, which, I mean, honestly doesn't bother me. A lot of mine I do that with and perfectly content with it, but I didn't want to do it this time, so we wanted to do something different. These little threads are just not going to work for me, are they? Alright guys, I feel like you all deserve an A+ in patience for putting up with me today. I have been crazy, more so than normal. I might have just did the same one over again. Just a little scatterbrained is all. What in the world? That messed up. It didn't grab my little washer. Oh well, that one's not going to have a washer. It didn't grab my little washer. So sad. So, where'd my elastic go? Here's my elastic, and so the way that I usually do these is I'm going to go through one hole, back into the middle, through here, through this one. Okay, so now you got that going on, and that's what I mean about you can just use a needle if you want. You don't have to use the eyelet punch thingy bobby. Let me move that out of my way. And then you're going to come in and you're going to tie a knot in here. Now you want these rubber bands to be snug, but you don't want them real crazy, because if you do them real tight, they're going to do that. If you do them too loose, your inserts are going to come out. But what I usually like to do is just put my knot in here, and I'm not going to do it super tight. It's just going to be a loose knot, so I can undo it if I want to. Your inserts go in like that, and they're held into place. So if you need to change them out, you just pull them out. Alright guys, I'm going to call that good for right now, because I think you have been patient enough waiting for me to be crazy. I guess we will meet back here, probably finish off our inserts, do any sewing that we want to do on them, sew them together, put them inside our journal, and then hopefully be done. I feel like these have become a whole lot longer than I anticipated them to be. Thank you guys. You all have a great day. Bye.